And
Yeah. Well, good. All right. I'll talk to you later about that. Appreciate that. Well, here we are. Uh I'm excited to be able to speak into your life. I'm excited to encourage you. Um, I feel it an honor to be on this call with the 20 plus of you here, believing that this is a worthy investment of your time. I know that it takes me time to prepare, but we started this with just 5, 6 people, and I worked hard to develop good material for that group of 5 or 6, and I'm thrilled to have the group of you here and the others of you that are not in the Tuesday morning group to be hearing this in the week. So for those that are meeting on the other nights, proud of you, glad that you're here, and trusting God to keep working in your life. Today, I want to talk about talk is cheap, change is costly. Change is not for the faint of heart. Change is not easy. What is easy is going what's comfortable. What is easy is doing what you always do. But talk is cheap. Too often in recovery, we would say to our spouses, yeah, no, listen, I'm going to change. I don't want you to leave. I'm really sorry. This is no good. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to stop this. And we say noble things. We say, reassuring things to them. We say things in panic that often we don't follow through on, and we don't frankly really mean. Or we mean, but we don't understand the implications of what our words are saying. And when I first did take my training with Dr. Weiss down in Colorado Springs, there was places in his office where, and I heard him say this often, boys make excuses, men make plans. And I thought, okay, yeah, I get that. I don't want a person who's explaining their life away with excuses and justifying their lack of change. So they need to make plans. I can't remember the last time, other than in this talk now, that I've used boys make excuses, men make plans, because plans are still talk is cheap in my mind. There's people that have their document that says, yeah, this is what I'm going to do in my recovery. And it's still a point of bogusness. They're not following through. Talk is cheap, change is costly. And so when I thought about it for a while, no disrespect to Dr. Weiss, but boys make excuses, but men make changes. Changes. A life is changing. Change is costly. But change is something that a spouse can embrace. Words they can't embrace. Words they can't really rely on. Now, we want to think that our words are reliable. And believe me, I live by the premise that you can trust my word. Like, I mean, if you ask my 4 kids, ask my wife, does Dave do what he says? 100%. Why? Because I had a father who lived such an exemplary life of his word was his bond. He didn't shake a hand. If he said he would do it, he's going to do it. And so, but you see a problem when a person's got this addiction going on and it's grabbed them and pulled them down. Then they say things to get less pressure on. They say things to reassure their spouse. They say things that aren't really true to take the heat off, but they really are not changing. They are just giving the illusion of change. They're giving the impression that they're changing. They're certainly giving the words that they're changing, but they really aren't making changes. And so my challenge is that we would understand the importance of words are not enough, even if they're well-intentioned and you're with your whole heart. I don't want to do this. I don't want to hurt you anymore. That's good. That's earnestness. But then don't go promising things that you're not going to follow through on, because every time you do, it's another form of lie. And so boys make excuses, men make changes. So here's some of the anchoring scripture, and I've got just 5 or 6 here that are critical. In 1 John chapter 3, 18 and 19, we read this: dear children, do not love with words and speech, I love you, honey. I love you, spouse. I'm going to quit. I'm going to this. Don't love with words and speech, but love with actions and in truth. Let your change be seen. Let your change be real, be it true. Don't just love with, oh yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm going to change, honey. I love you. I want to keep the family together. Nice things to say to give reassurance, but it has to be followed by actions and truth. And it goes on to say in the 1 John 3, this is how we know that we belong to the truth and we've set our hearts at rest in his presence, because I will follow through. I say this in God's presence. I will follow through. When I make a commitment to somebody, I follow through. Often it costs me. But like for instance, there's times that to prepare these talks that I'm doing, there's times that I'm up at 5 o'clock, or I usually Monday nights an alarm goes off, get your talk ready for Tuesday morning. And I'll either stay up late or get up early to make sure I have something reasonable to say. You see, oh yeah, I'll lead a group. Yeah. Oh, hey, this morning, guys. Yeah, let's just have a sharing time today, because I didn't have time to prepare anything. No, I had time to sleep. Why do I say I'll prepare something and not do it? Right? Talk is cheap. Come through. And so this is how you actually know you belong to God's family. You belong to the truth, and you can set your hearts at rest in his presence because I'm doing what I say. Matthew chapter 12, 36 and 37. I love this one. But I tell you that everyone must give an account on the day of judgment for every empty word they have spoken. Empty words. You know what empty words are, eh? Yeah, I'll be there to help your I'll be there to help with your move. That's a great example, because one of my staff, her and her husband, are moving this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, and I have in my phone, my calendar, I have the fact that I'm helping on Friday night with their move. Yeah, and I just want to be encouragement to them. They don't have any family out here. They're from Ontario, so there isn't a lot of people around. So I can spend an evening helping them move, no problem. Now I got an alarm that'll go off, but I will not say I will come and help you move and go, oh yeah, sorry, I realize I got too busy and I can't do that. And so I have to give an account for every empty word spoken. Because it goes on to say, for by your words you'll be acquitted. Acquitted means you're released free. You're free to go. By your words, that means when you keep your word, you'll be acquitted. And by your words that you don't keep, you'll be condemned. See, it's not just actions, it's your words. James chapter 1, there's a wonderful illustration here. It talks about the importance of really looking into God's word and letting it change us. James chapter 1, it says this: do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. See, make changes. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at their face in a mirror, got a mirror, looking in yourself, and goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. But whoever looks intently into God's perfect law, God's perfect law that gives freedom, so the more you know the word, the more you're going to grow in freedom. But the one who looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, listen to what it says, not forgetting what they've heard, but doing it. See, that's the change. They will be blessed in what they do. Blessed in what they do. So I have one of my Bibles right here on the desk, and I'm studying in the Passion Translation right now. I'm reading the New Testament, Psalms, Proverbs, and it's a new translation to me, so I'm going through it, each day. But to simply read it isn't sufficient. To put my life through it, as it were, like gravel through a sieve, and start working on getting rid of some of the chunks in my life that shouldn't be there. But you see, but doing it, you see, change. You're blessed in what you do. Words are not enough. Words are not enough. And remember that talk is cheap. And when you're saying something that you don't follow through on, there's a problem with real honesty. But you know what really blesses a spouse? When you say that you're going to do something and you do it. When you say you're going to do something and you actually do it, that, well, what does it say there in Proverbs 24:26? An honest answer is like a kiss on the lips, something beautiful. I can trust you. I can take you at your word. What a beautiful thing. And Matthew chapter 5, I just read a few weeks ago because I'm going through Matthew now as I go through the New Testament in this new Bible. Matthew 5:33 and actually 33, 34, and 37. I missed 34 in there. But you've heard it said that our ancestors were told, you must not break your vows. This is the commitments that you say. Okay, commitments you say to other people, the commitments you make to the Lord. You must not break your vows, promises, right? You must carry out your promises, your vows that you make to the Lord. But Jesus said, but I say, do not make vows. Don't make promises. Do not say, oh, I promise by heaven, or, I promise on my mother's grave, or I promise on whatever. Don't be doing those exaggerated promises, those swearing by something, but they say something just really profound, because it gives actually a couple other examples. Don't swear by Jerusalem, because if I swear by the Jerusalem, if I swear by heaven, if I swear by this, that's going to be, I'm really serious, right? No. Jesus said himself, just do it like this. Just be simple. Say, yes, I will, or no, I won't. And let your words be true. Yes, I'll do that. Then your word is your bond. Don't be, oh, I promise by this, by that. No, I'm going to do it. And then do it. And then next time you say, I'm going to do it, and you do it. Then you say, I'm going to do it, and you do it. You make that your pattern. And pretty soon your word means something. Interesting. When you do all this other promising and Jesus said, anything beyond this, if you don't let your words be true, you say it and you do it, you say it and you do it, anything else that you say, you promise and exaggerate and everything like that, anything beyond this, he says, is from the evil one. That's a pattern of destructive relationships. That's a pattern of unfaithfulness. That's a pattern of not God's plan. It's the plan of the devil. Because the devil is the father of lies. He's been lying from the start. He schemes, it says. And when you lie, you end up patterning your life after the devil, who is the father of lies. And so Jesus said, look, don't make all these promises. I promise this and promise that. Just say yes and then do it, or no, and then you don't have to do it. But don't be promising things you don't commit to do. And it's so essential when you're building trust with a spouse. If you've hurt them because of your behavior, which most of you on the call here have hurt your spouse with your behavior, your porn addiction or acting out or whatever, your words have not been trustworthy. And so what are the steps to anchoring genuine changes, i.e., not talking about the changes, but making changes and keeping this balance between words are not enough. Words are not enough. So remember, in our office, the counselors that work with the partners of addicts, be they male or female, your spouse is told to believe behavior. Don't. Words are not enough. Don't believe what he says. Don't believe what she says. Believe behavior. See the changes. See the changes. See, broken promises are the most paralyzing of lies, because it's not that I was pretending to do something and I wasn't, or I said I wasn't doing something and I was. Those are bad enough. But when you promise change and you give a sense of hope and a sense of possibility that things are going to be different, and you don't follow through, those broken promises are the most paralyzing of lies to your spouse. Paralyzes them. They don't know what to do. I was going to give him another chance, and I decided I'm going to trust him again. Foolish people in recovery. When are you going to just trust me? When are you going to just trust me? I'm doing my best. Just trust me. Like this, like it's okay to jump out of the airplane without a parachute. It's okay. Just trust me. No. I need to see, and they want to see, consistency of behavior, words that match the actions, words that match the actions over and over again, and then trust is built. Empty promises are premeditated lies. I have actually, to this point, I haven't upstaged the person, but I've sat in sessions with the husband and wife together, and the person who's struggling with the addiction is saying to their spouse, their partner, look, I promise you, I'm not gonna, I'm thinking, you likely shouldn't be saying that, because do you have the resolve to really follow through on that? Now, I could say, hey, time out. I want you to rethink that, because what you just said to her, what you just said to him, I'm not sure if you're really going to follow through on. So be careful, because you're actually eroding trust by saying you're going to do something to them and you don't do it. Now, I haven't upstaged them, but maybe I'd be wise enough to do that, because I'd save them. Now, they would be embarrassed. Oh, what do you mean? I'm not going to follow through. You're not going to do this. Who do you think you are? You're judging me. You're not saying I can change. No, I fight for change. I fight with people who've come out of a background of lies. See, many people who struggle with the addiction are just as addicted to lying as they are to the addiction itself, whatever the addiction is. Sexual addiction, porn addiction, love addiction, drug addiction, whatever. Most of the addictions are also combined with the addiction to lying, or half-truths, or manipulating the truth. But see, empty promises, when you say you're going to do something and you don't, those are premeditated lies. I said this and I knew I wasn't going to follow through. So you premeditated, you thought about it, and you actually decided ahead of time that I'm going to tell him this to convince him to hang in there with me, but I'm not going to really follow through. You see, words matter. Speak the truth. Words matter. Speak the truth. My dad was such a man of integrity. His name was Ken. I actually, the more I watched his life, I changed his name in my mind. His middle name was actually Archibald. But Ken became Ken Integrity Currie. Because in my entire life, before he passed away at 95, I never, ever remember my dad lying to me. Ever. Or anybody else. He was a man of his word. He was a man of truth. He was a man of integrity. So I just said, Ken Integrity Currie. It's who he is. I even said that at his memorial. And I so desperately want to be like that. But it was so drilled into me, this idea of you can't say you're going to do something and not do it, Dave. You can't say that. Don't give them false hopes that it should work. It should work. I'll be there to help you move. And then the day before you say, oh yeah, sorry, it's not going to work. I hoped it would have, but it's not. BS. You were just wanting them to, you to be loved by them, that you're going to maybe help them. But when it really comes down to it, it's empty words. So words matter. Speak the truth. Fabricated assurances. We give these fabricated. That means we make it up. We make it from scratch. We fabricate these assurances to take the pressure off. But they're fabricated. We give these assurances or gross exaggerations. We're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do this, and because we want to get what we want. Get what we want is you'll keep the marriage together, keep access to the home, not get kicked out of the house, and so you give these statements of your commitment, and then often within a week already we see the unraveling of what you just said. So you see, these untrue promises, they create false hopes. So the person trusts you, and then they start believing and investing in the relationship, or investing in you and letting you back in, as it were, into their heart a little bit. And then when you don't come through with your words, it's like a double dagger, because they risked again and you hurt them again. You see, when I do that, it's a form of manipulation. It's a form of deceit. It's a form of trickery. If you say it, do it. Be a person of integrity. If you say it, do it. You see, intentions are not enough. Motivations are not enough. Determination is not enough. It's transformation where there is a genuine change. There is a genuine change. But there's a lot of good intentions maybe on these calls, in these groups. A lot of initially well-motivated people. I want to make changes. And the determination needs to be there, and the transformation needs to be there. And it's not just dealing with your addiction, but also dealing with your addiction to lying and fabricating truth. See, authentic sanctification, sanctification being set apart and living God's way, authentic sanctification and authentic transformation are one and the same. The beautiful thing is, the more you surrender to Jesus, Jesus changes lives. Talk is cheap, but keep letting Jesus work in you. Surrender your life to Jesus over. Jesus, don't give up on me. I don't want to be a lying so-and-so. I want to speak the truth. I want to follow through. Give me courage to follow through. Give me strength to follow through. And if nothing else, write down what you say on a pad saying, I said this, and then put a reminder on. Like, for instance, I could show you right on my calendar here that I have a date on Friday night. The couple's name, moving, and I have 5 till 10 o'clock on Friday night. I'm going to help them move. Why? Because they have no family out here. My family's kind of become their family. So if they were my kids, they're young enough to be my kids. If they were my kids, I would be helping my kids move. They have no family here, so I'm going to step in. But I don't want to be a man who just says that. I don't want to be a man who just says that. He's a nice man. He said he'd help us move, and he doesn't show. BS. My word matters. Jesus wants my word to matter. Beautiful thing is, I don't have to do this alone. Jesus help me. Now, in this case here, it's me taking 5 hours, putting it in my calendar, and once it's in my calendar, it's pretty much that's what I'm doing, right? So it's easy, but you see, when God changes me, it's a change that lasts. How does God change me? I come back with my shortcomings. I ask for his wisdom. I ask for his truth. I ask him to change me, because really, lies in this way or selfish behavior is really about me. It's selfishness. It's self-centeredness. It's I need to let God change me. Transformation isn't temporary. Transformation isn't obscure. I mean, if you look at James chapter 3, it talks about taming the tongue, and there's a whole passage there I can't go into, but understand, it says this: if we found that a person who can tame the tongue and what you say can tame the whole life. So actually being a man or a person of your word is the core transformation of a life free from the addiction. You stop lying. You stop fabricating something different than you are. And it says that if a person can keep their tongue in check and is integrous in what they say, it says that they can change their whole body, as it were. So when God changes me, it's a change that lasts. Transformation isn't temporary, isn't obscure. God is the author of my lasting change. God calls me to honesty. God calls me to integrous lips. You want to know how many times just in the book of Proverbs it talks about being truthful, speaking the truth, lying tongue, lying lips, honest lips? Lasting change is lifestyle change. It changes how you operate. I kind of wish I had my 4 kids on here. And you could ask, do you ever remember your dad lying to you? In all consciousness before God and you, I don't remember lying to my kids. I'm sure I may have along the way, but I so desperately wanted to honor the Lord and frankly mirror my dad's life of integrity that I frankly will not lie. I will do what I say. I will do what I say. I calculate, okay, am I going to do this? If I say yes, my yes is enough. You can rest in knowing that. And that's why God wants us all that way. What a gift to your spouse in recovery. What a gift. Talk is cheap. Change is costly. But change is that life of integrity where your words matter and they start to trust who you are again. That's lasting change. That's lasting change. Jesus, keep changing me. Jesus, help me not to have hollow words, shallow words, words that deep down I'm not planning to keep. Jesus, help my yes to be yes and my no to be no, so that my spouse can rest in knowing that my partner is a person of integrity. May God help us do just that.